There exists a massive market for secondhand luxury bags, a business opportunity most people don't know about. In this video, I'll walk you through the world of secret private auctions and cover what you need to get started, all in 10 minutes. You're watching Odd Income, where we go over all kinds of business ideas. I'm your host, Mikko, and I've spent the last decade starting out all kinds of businesses and getting to know people who have been doing it for even longer than I have. You'll need to register for a business license. For many other business ideas, this isn't actually necessary until much later, but without a valid business license, you won't be able to source the bags, since most auction platforms require proof of a registered business before they let you bid. So this step comes first. The easiest and cheapest way to do this is usually by becoming a sole proprietor. How you do this varies based on where you're located, but it's usually a simple process that costs anywhere from $10 to $50. Next up, you'll need a little bit of starting capital. While you could do this with $100, I suggest saving up $1,000 or $2. And for the final step, you're going to be storing some bags, so make sure you have space for them. A closet or so should do, or just pile them on that one chair everyone has but never uses. Well, it is money, so if you want to go an extra mile, buy some dust bags and desiccant bags, though those aren't really needed for short-term storage. Here's something you didn't know. The pre-loved luxury bag industry is centered around Japan. Big companies exist that buy absurd amounts of luxury bags through dedicated luxury resale counters. These companies then auction off these bags to businesses. They ship worldwide, and listings usually include photos, condition grades, and notes about wear. While there are many of these companies to choose from, my favorite ones are currently displayed on the screen. In this video, I'll be showcasing Auknet. However, they all work more or less the same. Auknet hosts auctions every week. Each week, they list tens of thousands of items, and the bidding ends on Monday. You'll need to apply to gain access to these sites. Simply sign up, fill up a form, and wait to get accepted. If you don't get accepted, don't be afraid to try applying again with a more detailed application. Once you do get accepted, go over the materials they provide you. You'll learn all of the details on how the platform works as well as the rules. Once you feel ready to source your first bags, it's time to participate in the auction. I hope you enjoy scrolling through thousands of photos of the same Louis Vuitton bags, because there are a lot of bags that get listed on these sites. So it'll likely take several days to go through all of them. I suggest going over the catalog over the weekend and favoriting bags you see potential in for a profit. The price of the bags largely depends on their quality. Big marks and scratches can dramatically reduce their value. I would suggest avoiding bags in these two categories. Perfect bags with no signs of wear. They run a large premium and generally carry much lower margins. Rundown bags, unless you're able to repair them, which is difficult, these are very difficult to sell. A perfect sweet spot is somewhere in the middle, some signs of wear. One thing to note is that for customers, quality is highly subjective. So a mark that might technically lower the quality score of the bag significantly to professionals might not be perceived as a big deal by consumers. This will give you an edge as you gain more experience in the industry. I also suggest avoiding rare bags. These can be a goldmine, but especially at the beginning of your journey, it's better to stick to the basics that move in large volumes. Rare bags might sit unsold for months, and pricing them is harder. Think monograms and brands like Louis Vuitton, Gucci, and Prada. These bags usually sell fast, and we want to keep our money in bags with high liquidity. Once you've collected a list of bags in your favorites, it's time to wait until the auction is ending and do some simple math. If you thought luxury fashion was going to be glamorous, here comes the Excel sheet to ruin it. In order for us to make money, we have to calculate how much we are able to pay for the bags while still expecting a profit. In order to find out our maximum bid, we'll need to figure out our expenses. The auctions take a commission on top of your bid. Further, each item incurs a small shipping cost. Depending on where you live, you may also have to pay a small import or customs fee. Next up, we'll need to figure out how much we can expect to get from selling the bag. This changes based on the region you're in, as well as how you're going to sell the bag. More on that in a little moment. Let's assume you're looking to sell the bags through a platform like Vestiaire Collector. Search for the bag and see what others have listed it for. Note that I suggest a hint of pessimism. The prices you see, while being reflective of the overall value, might be a bit higher than what you'll end up getting. Further, platforms such as Vestiaire take a commission, so that's another expense to add to the list. Finally, you'll want to set a margin target. How much profit are you looking to make per bag? Now that we know all the expenses, as well as the expected sales value of the bags, we can set a maximum price we're willing to pay for each bag. You'll want to calculate this maximum bid for each bag and then store it in an Excel file or a list. To recap, you'll need to keep in mind that your bid is determined by the sum of the expenses, including your margin. If you think you can sell a bag for $600 and expect $100 in costs, you'd want to cap your bid at $400 maximum to have $100 in margin, or less if you want a higher margin. How much margin you're looking to get per bag depends on your strategy. You could go for a smaller margin and rely on a larger volume to make your profit. Or you could only pick high margin bags and profit with lesser volume. Come auction day, you'll want to get ready at least 1 hour before the auction ends. Observe at what prices the bags you're targeting are at and compare them to your list of maximum bids. Remove bags that are already over your maximum bid. Get a cup of coffee and stretch your fingers because it's about to get hectic. This is the closest you'll get to Wall Street without committing wire fraud. Use your first auctions as a practice to figure out how it works. There's a level of skill involved, and you'll need to be fast. Around 5 to 15 minutes prior to the auction ending, start placing bids. Keep your maximum bids in mind and start controlling the winning bid. Bids keep coming even after the last seconds, so you'll need to be fast. In the last minutes of the auction, you'll likely be scrolling around frantically, placing bids. It will feel overwhelming at first, but it'll become routine as you participate in more auctions. Don't get greedy and never bid over your maximum bid. It's better not to buy any bags than to lose money. Let's assume you won some bids. Your bags will be shipped to you after you pay your invoice. Store them in the space you prepared earlier and get ready to sell them. There are many channels you can choose to sell your bags on. You could start your own Shopify store and rely on advertising to sell your bags. This can get expensive fast unless you rely on promoting through organic social media. That is why I suggest relying on marketplaces such as eBay, Vestiaire, The Real, or others. Take some photos of your bag in a well-lit area, remembering to document flaws of the bags as well as you can. Optimize the title and description to ensure people find the bag. You may be asked for documentation to prove the provenance of the bag, meaning where it came from. Some auction platforms provide you with these, but if they don't, I suggest making one of your own, such as this one. Making your own, especially as you gain more experience in the industry, is no different than any other company, such as Vestiaire, granting a document of authenticity. Now, all you can do is wait, and refresh your inbox 74 times a day like a true entrepreneur. Let's close this video with an important thing to keep in mind. You should always be learning and analyzing your results. What bags sold fast? What failed to sell? Keep an analytical mind and keep improving your operation. As your business grows, there are many ways to expand. You could begin sourcing items outside of bags, such as clothes or watches. You could begin selling bags to other businesses instead of just consumers. Or you could expand where you buy the bags from, or sell them on more platforms, or even launch a retail store. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe. We'll be going over hundreds of other interesting business ideas over the next few years on Odd Income. Now it's time for you to get started. Good luck!